welcome to yet another From Screen to Shelf review. I am Chase, as always, and what I always like to say, I am one of the three very special souls in this universe that makes up this beautiful channel. And I am here because I was just super excited after I showed you guys my Ghostbusters set. It's like I said, that just depending on which one I look at and which one I'm admiring the most. The Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection is probably my favorite thing on the shelf. Then I take a look at that 5-film set, Steelbook edition from Superman. So today I wanted to show you exactly what that looks like. There's plenty of videos out there showcasing it, but I wanted to show you Chase's set. So that's what makes this video special. It's my set. So I'm going to show you that today. We're going to take a look at the films. We're going to look at some of the special features. We're going to just kind of really as a whole package. You know, I'm going to show you the Steelbook, but the standard in the Steelbook, there's nothing special outside of what you'll see in the unboxing video. It comes with a special little disc with a certificate of authenticity and just a really another cool Steelbook that I really like. I like the Superman art on the inside that you'll check out here in a moment. So without further ado, we're going to fly up, and that way, and then we're going to take a look over at that Steelbook set, and then we're going to come back right over here, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. See you soon. Shoom. All right, here it is, guys. God, this really is one of my favorite things on my entire shelf. It really is. Look at that. Look at that. That is so, a certificate of authenticity. Golly. Let me take that off of there. Get right into it. It just feels so glossy, so nice. It really is a run between this and that Ghostbusters set I recently shared with you guys. And what I really prefer as my favorite, yeah, just look at that. Yeah, and that great spine splash I got on that. Doesn't it look awesome? So now without that on there, yeah, just shines and sparkles. So now I shall take it out one at a time. Oh yeah. It just looks really good. Really nice. Really well done. And I will probably get more into detail about this one, but I do remember reading that this, like whether it's this set or like the actual collector set, or the other standard collector set that has all of them in it, that one is actually missing an audio track, not Superman 2, but Superman 1, because it did get a standalone release during one of Superman's anniversary years. And just look at that. Get that bad boy popped right out of there. Without breaking it. Yeah. That's what you all came here for. Just looks wonderful. You got Margot Kidder on there. Set that to the side. Believe it or not, I'll go into more detail. I like this movie so much. It's just so endearing. It looks so good. But yeah, I'll go into more detail about that missing audio track off of that very, very first one. It apparently, I remember somebody in the Discord server recently talking about it because they were looking for that specific release for the standalone for one of the audio tracks. I believe that hasn't been on there since Laserdisc. I'll fact check and correct myself after this unboxing. Lex Luthor, this looks so good. And believe it or not, yes, I like Quest for Peace. I love all of these movies. The nostalgia factor just hits a different type of way on these guys. And oh yeah, look at that. Oh wow. That's just so simple, yet so good. Oh, that's actually a lot higher than I thought it would be. Yeah. That is so awesome. So cool. Action Comics, little collector steelbook. And then there's some styrofoam money shots right in there. Doesn't that look wonderful? Yeah, and there you guys go. And there's the 5-film collection with an extra steelbook thrown in there. So 5 steelbooks, 4 movies, but two cuts, the Donner cut and the theatrical cut for the second one. You guys probably heard my pizza getting done. Get excited for me. There you guys go. And now, without further ado, we'll take a look at all of these. We'll deep dive into it, give you my personal thoughts on what I feel about these movies, go into the transfer themselves, the audio mixing, everything like that. We're going to go ahead and deep dive in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited that you guys got to see that. It's like I said, that's one of my favorite things on the shelf. Just the gloss, everything about it. I really just like a lot about what is going on in that. Except the spine splash on my Superman 2, right? So it sucks. I couldn't get it exchanged, but oh well, I still have it. So I'm super excited, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts. The entire set just looks incredible. I really love that set. It's fun. It's one of those ones that whenever you take out the steelbook, you just admire it before you even put in the disc, which I think is the whole point of steelbooks, right? That's why we collect them as physical media collectors. It's just whenever you look at it, you kind of take a few minutes, you just kind of look at it. Sometimes you even just want to clean it, get your fingerprints off, unlike me, right? I like to leave my fingerprints on there because it kind of marks my territory a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about Superman 1 because that one's got quite a bit going on with it. So whenever it comes to Superman 1, there's actually quite a bit of difference. Now, before I go actually into that, let me preface. Outside of this, I think I said it earlier, outside of like the certificate of authenticity and that additional steelbook case in there, there's no difference between everything I'm about to talk about in the standard 4K set. So just because you can't get this, or even if you can get this steelbook set, doesn't mean that everything I talk about right now isn't necessarily going to apply to the 5-film set that's out there currently. So everything should apply just fine, should be good, right? So now, keep going. Whenever I talk about Superman 1, I love it. It's a timeless classic. There's really not one of those things where it doesn't stand the test of time. Christopher Reeve gave us the Superman that we really all admire and know today. No matter what age you grew up with, I feel like you can recognize Christopher Reeve's Superman. That's one of those movies that we all kind of watch. I feel like, at least if you're a nerd and like Superman, at the very least. I'm hard pressed to find a good crowd of people that haven't seen it, or at least know or can recognize. They might not know Christopher Reeve by name, but they can recognize that that's the Superman, right? So there actually is something I wanted to talk about. So I didn't realize this because I actually almost gave away my standalone Superman 4K because, you know, I had the steelbook, everything. Why keep it, right? So pause. If you've got that, keep it. So there's actually something really cool about that one. That one came with the original 70mm audio mix. Now the one that comes in here, they removed that. Why? Don't know. We'll go into more detail on some of the other things. They just decided to go ahead and remove it versus the standalone. I believe that was the 80th anniversary edition versus this edition. They just decided to remove that. Don't know why. Can't tell you. Wish I knew why. I'm just here to give you the info. So whenever it came to that, I don't know. I actually didn't even realize that, so I still need to go back and check that. Heard it's pretty cool, just, you know, really cool addition to the set. Otherwise, as far as I could tell, there's no difference outside of it, that missing 70mm audio mix. So keep your standalone copy. If you have the 5-film set, whether standard, steelbook, collector's edition, whatever the case may be, keep that. Don't get rid of it. Keep it. So the film, right? This is actually the only one in the entire set that does. All of them have Atmos. All of them come with 7.1. I do believe the 5.1 was removed. I might need to correct that with an anecdote. but I believe the 5.1 was removed off all of these. I don't think any of them have 5.1, could be wrong, but all of them have Atmos. This is the only disc in this set that is BD100. The rest are BD66. And do I wish they were all BD100? Of course. More space, more presentation, more visuals. I'll never say no. But in this instance, Superman 1 definitely stands out the best, right? Now, always keep in mind, this was kind of meant to look a little hazy, a little bit dreamy, so it's not going to be crisp, clear in every single angle. But the opening scene with Krypton and, the whole origin story and stuff with how Superman gets to Earth, quality. Yeah, no room for improvement in that aspect, in my opinion. So a huge fan of that. The Atmos looks great, the Dolby Vision looks great, the HDR looks great, everything about this 10 out of 10. From a movie to a transfer to everything in between, pick that up, whether even you're looking at just the standalone release, if you can get your hands on it still, and you're only a fan of Superman 1, buy. Support projects like that come out looking awesome. So everything I just said about Superman 1 doesn't necessarily carry over to the vast majority of people with what I've seen to 2, 3, and 4, right? Whenever it comes to those ones, it's like I said, I'm pretty sure they removed the 5.1 audio tracks on here. I don't believe it has it on there. But they all have Atmos, right? So no issue on that. HDR, Dolby Vision galore. BD66 is what it's stored on though. So, win some, you lose some. So Superman 2, this specific set, the Steelbook and the standard 5 film set, do come with the theatrical cut and the Donner cut, both in 4K. The Donner cut's not in Blu-ray, they're both in 4K, both BD66s, the whole 9 yards. Couldn't be happier, right? A lot of cool things on that one. Happy, Kneel Before Zod, can't get more classic than that. Superman 2, it's one of the ones where it stands it's one of those sequels that just really stands up there with the original as well. I love the second one just as much as the first one. If you had me pick between two, I couldn't. Between 1 or 2, I just simply really wouldn't be able to tell you which one I would prefer. I love them both equally. I think they're a great 2-parter series, so really can't pick between the two. The transfer on this, and as always, go back, that one was scanned from the original negative. All of these were scanned from the original negative based on the information I was able to find. So all of the transfers were done from the original negative, so these are going to probably be the most crisp that they're going to look, unless somebody gets a hold of them like a boutique, which highly doubt, because it's a Warner Brothers title. So highly doubt that's going to be the case. Probably going to be the best of these look for a long time, right? So crisp, clean. There's some parts where I noticed a little bit, maybe a little bit of crush. Like I said, during some of the night scenes, it didn't look as fluid as I wanted it to. And I don't know if that was necessarily crush, as much as it could have been just the film, the way I was looking at it, maybe even the angle I was sitting, right? And that could be purely subjective and on me, right? Don't know if that's necessarily a transfer, but I just noticed that during my viewing. However, like I said, this is the best the movie's ever going to look. It's the best movie's ever going to sound. That sound mixing is insane, especially during, the climax, the fight, the whole 9 yards. That is super awesome. Now, we're going to go to Superman 3. Everything I just said applies, except for the fact that I can't pick between 1 and 2. 3 definitely doesn't go up there. I love 3. It's still fun. It's goofy. Out of the 4, I know this one's going to be kind of a hot take. Take it to the comments. Let me know. Let's talk about it. 3's my least favorite. I love Quest for Peace, which you'll hear me talk about here in a second. 3 is definitely my least favorite out of the set, or out of that quadrilogy of movies. I just found it rather boring. As fun as it is, as a kid, you just watch it. It's Superman. You're gonna pretty much eat up most things, or at least I was. I didn't really care about the quality. Superman's on screen. Pay attention. Shut up. Right? And that's how I kind of digested that stuff. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot I have to say. Maybe just Richard Pryor's character in this one just really didn't do it for me. The whole dynamic, good, evil, in the sense of, I'm trying not to really talk spoilers as much. If you haven't seen them, hopefully you have by this point. Check them out, whether you like them, hate them, love them. Always form your own opinion. Don't listen to the masses, right? Because just like I said, I openly admitted I love Quest for Peace. That movie's just stupid fun. So, yeah, still check it out. It's still worthy. It's eye candy. It looks good. It sounds good. Now, also on this one, I want to say, or actually going back a little bit to Superman 2, apparently there is some clipping issues with the audio that I've seen. People reported. Maybe I just didn't have that critical of an ear and absolutely ingesting absolutely every millisecond that was happening. I could notice some issues, nothing that took me out of the experience. I noticed something towards the very, very end where it sounded like some mismatched music. but that was about it. I've seen quite a few different through like Blu-ray forums, Reddit, Discord. I've seen some very different takes and some issues on this set. So I don't know if it's just necessarily, maybe bad pressing, I don't know if it's something done with actual transfer, the quality itself. I don't know. I really don't. I just find wildly different things. One of the few things I could find is it's just missing the 70mm audio mix from the original 4K 80th anniversary pressing of Superman to this set for the original one. So I wanted to point that out before I just kept kind of going on a tangent, because I feel like that was kind of important to know. No replacements as of this recording have been issued out, so take that with a little bit of caution. So, Superman 4. I love that movie. Quest for Peace is goofy as hell, and I love it. That's the kind of stuff I live for. You can see a wire in one of those scenes with how they're flying. It is immaculately amazing. Like, if you can't just have fun and laugh and just take yourself out of, like, the whole story just can't be goofy. It's literally one of the Max Fleischer cartoons or, Superman animated series cartoons just come to life. I know anime series came after, before you correct me, but just a cartoon come to life, and I found that so enjoyable as a kid. It was just goofy fun. I loved it, the villain, it left a little bit to be desired, but it's just everything about that. It's not so bad it's good. It's just once you just kind of stop thinking Superman 1 and 2 and then you're trying to compare them to the rest of them, because it is called Superman 4 Quest for Peace, you kind of take your mind out of that. I feel like you can have a lot of good fun with this right there. So just kind of ingest it that way. The transfer looked awesome. The quality looked great. It's the best, again, the movie I'll ever look. I remember having this on VHS way back when, so that's where my mind kind of goes whenever I watch these, because I haven't necessarily, since I was a kid, rewatched Quest for Peace repeatedly, but I had just as good of a time rewatching this for probably the first part in like 5-8 years, like it's great fun, especially when my reference was VHS way back when, ingrained in my head. So Quest for Peace, great fun. Love that movie. It's just, I can't recommend it enough. It's just goofy fun. Turn your brain off. Just don't think too critically about it. Just have fun. Have fun with the movies, right? So now I kind of want to go into the special features. It's pretty loaded with special features, but that's actually one of the other things that's kind of controversial. Warner Brothers kind of has a habit of doing that, right? So like recently, this is being recorded almost a whole 8 months after the set came out, but they tended to do that with The Exorcist. You had the big Bible edition that came out, and it had damn near, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to be misquoted, but I want to say it has every extra you could ever find for The Exorcist in that Bible edition, if not damn near all of them. But that one is still trying to get into people's hands, right? So it's kind of like also like the Middle Earth Ultimate Collection that came out that was over $200. People had a lot of disdain because they get attached to those special features, seeing the behind the scenes, the practical effects, visual effects, everything about that. And they just really care about the world. And I don't think that is wrong to ask for everything, right? Especially when it's all there. I don't necessarily know, I'm not a professional or an expert on how the rights work when it comes to special features. For the most part, depending on how, Lost or how A, B, C, D, Z list the movie is, rights can be relatively easy to figure out, right? With who owns them and stuff like that. I don't know how that's categorized in special features, so I don't know what dictates or how that motion kind of flows whenever it comes to special features missing on collector sets, right? So whenever you have something like this, I can't tell you exactly what it was missing, but the comparison I'm going to be using based on everything that I was reading is it's missing some from that Blu-ray collection that came out probably about a decade ago, 7 years ago, based on my research. So it's missing some of those. The special features that were on there, there's one that I just loved, and it's the test screening for Superman. That's just so cool. Seeing stuff like that, kind of like, the Lost Nick Cage Superman movie that came out, or didn't come out, the footage of him test screening that came out was just cool to see, even though we never got the movie itself, the one by Tim Burton, I believe is who was going to make that one. That's just really cool, so whenever you see stuff like that, especially for such a literal timeless classic in this aspect, one that will stand the test of time for a while, I feel like, it's just so cool to get engrossed in that world. So missing special features or not, I think this is a highly recommendable set, and you have Dolby Vision HDR on all of them, 7.1 audio mixes. I believe it has also this original 2.1, if I'm remembering correctly. I have to double check. I can't recommend it enough as a big Superman fan. Superman isn't my favorite character, but the Superman movies, I tend to love them. I tend to really love the cartoons, the Max Fleischer ones, if I'm saying that correctly. The Superman animated series, love them all. They're great. So overall, this package is going to get I would literally probably give it a 9 out of 10, I personally had a great time with it. It's like I said, that stands side by side. It literally is right there, right next to Ghostbusters, so that I have to look at it all the time. So I admire it, I love it, and so I just really like that Steelbook set. Even if I had the 5 film set, I don't think I'm just giving. I mean, I guess you could say I'm giving just the Steelbook a couple extra points. If it was just, like the Mad Max anthology or like the Alfred Hitchcock sets that you can kind of just slide and you have the little discs or the plastic, however those ones are presented, maybe I'd probably dock maybe a half point. But I love the Steelbooks. I love the presentability of the entire set. It's one of the most fun sets on my shelf. I have a great time with it. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. So if you're able to find the Steelbook collection, I'm pretty sure, we're 8 months removed. Sold out everywhere, but the 5 film set's relatively easy to find still. You could probably find it on sale as of this recording. So I would look into that. See if you can get it for around 50, 60 bucks. And even then, that's even more digestible with 2 different cuts of one of the movies, 4 cuts of theatrical cuts of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, for 5 films, it's an easy recommendation. So all in Atmos, Dolby Vision, HDR, everything we collectors desire in our hearts in regards to a transfer is there, except Superman 1, BD 100, 2, 3, and 4 is on a 66, including both the theatrical and the Donner cut. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this review up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Your love, your support, your heartwarming comments, everything in between, from the silver screen to the palm of our hands. A heartwarming thank you to all of you guys. Appreciate all of you guys. The support has been immense. We really appreciate it, and we do this for you. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Up and away.